day in Los Angeles. Small technical difficulties. I don't know. Apple iPhone is just super funny. I don't know what happened to my cell phone, like some sort of update, but like the sound keeps going in and on and off. So if you do come into the chat, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep going because it's just therapeutic to complain about everything. So that's what I'll do. Continue to do so. I hate Los Angeles. I really do. I hate Los Angeles because you can see behind the curtain. You could, people look at what's on stage and, what's on the streets. And in California, you peek behind the curtain. You see the mess of it. You really do. And then you see that you're just being manipulated every chance they get. And for what reason? I don't understand. Like, I'm a depressed super nerd. I mean, couldn't you just let me be a nerd? Like, what is LA's end game? Because I don't understand it. Like, I really don't. Like, if you want me to do scenes with people, then I guess you have to hire me as an actor. But if you don't, then could you just let me be a depressed super nerd? Like, there's no reason to hire people specifically to raise my adrenaline. Like, what the fuck was that yesterday? I mean, I had multiple thoughts about it. I mean, I guess I had different points of view, but I don't think I really discussed well enough. Because as an Indigenous person, I feel that if some woman shows up and she's got a kid and she's having a hard time with the bottle and the baby formula and all that, you're supposed to help her. You're supposed to say, look, you live in the village, we live in the village together, you're my tribe, and sure, I guess I'll take care of the little tyke. But I don't I'm sorry, I have hair everywhere. Whatever. I don't live in a tribe here. I live on a reservation. That's the only way to call this. It's a reservation for Latinos, not for Native American people, for Latinos. And because of that, I don't know this person, and it creeps me out. It shouldn't creep me out. There's a part of me that actually says, hey, this person, whatever they're going through, they need some help. I should be a helpful person to them. But then there's the other that just says, why is your random ass fucking kid running toward me when I don't know either of you? I've never seen you before. I have no relation to you. I don't know. It's kids are going to be kids. I mean, they'll run because they just feel like sugar and run. So I can't blame the kid for being a kid. I blame the fucking mother though, because thankfully for my PTSD, she didn't fucking say anything to me. So there's that. But then again, she didn't say anything about her fucking kid running to a stranger. I don't know. I mean, maybe I've lived in LA for too long that I see people who run towards celebrities. Not that I'm a celebrity. I'm definitely not a celebrity. Never will be. I am a person who wears silly things and blue lipsticks. So I refuse to be a celebrity. But maybe it's just a thing they do here because they have celebrities all over the place that kids are just conditioned to run toward them, which is precisely why I smashed my television and I haven't gone back. Twice I smashed the television. I love what I've seen so far. I wish I could just dip my toe into that pool again, but there's an undercurrent to it, and I just want to be carried out to the fucking ocean, watching fucking television all day. But but I was watching Agatha and the Ballad of the Witch's Road. It's always in my feed for YouTube. I watched it fucking once. And YouTube is like a curated psychologist playlist. Like out of the corner of your eye, you can see them just go, no, you need this. You need this right now. Because my favorite song is always the first thing that they have on the screen. And then two, out of the corner of my eye, it's something that is a life lesson or something like that. But either way, the whole idea of the Ballad of the Witch's Road, which I have to give it to them because when Disney goes fucking deep, they go balls deep. Disney is definitely balls deep into the metaverse because they have a television show and then they also have social commentary on the world around them. And in the case of the Ballad of the Witch's Road, especially the journey through time, it was always this idea that for women who have the spark, there's a magic inside of them. If you join with other women in some sort of coven, or maybe the more palatable phrase, a musical group, you would gain riches, beauty, long life, and powers beyond human comprehension. And I love how Disney and the directors did the Ballad of the Witch's Road throughout time. And Agatha Harkness is played to a hilt. Like I've just the mannerisms that this woman does while she is acting out this scene. It's just it tells the story while music's playing, and you can feel the story. Sometimes you just need to do that. That just shows good writing and good direction, which I don't know how they can't do that throughout every project, but maybe I'm just a little too critical to enjoy Disney at my very advanced age. But I appreciate it because there comes a time, I don't know, I think it's like the 20s or 30s or something like that, where they all gather together, they sing the song, and then they look at Agatha, and Agatha gives them just a shrug. The shrug says everything. The shrug says everything because it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating because all these women think that you sing that one song, and it'll open the door to all this magic. Hi, Linda. How are you? Welcome to the channel. Let me know if you can actually hear me because I've been talking for 30 minutes and no one could hear me. But either way, yeah, I'm a muttering mess. Good morning, how are you doing? I am well, have a good day, blessings. Blessings to you, Linda. Haven't seen you in forever. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a present for coming back and saying hello. It's been a rough day for me. It really has. But that shrug that Kapanan makes, it says everything because everyone gets super fucking pissed and they do the thing where they attack Agatha and, Agatha just drains them of their life force. And then, throughout the ages, the 60s, the 80s, all of that, it's just the same exact thing. But it's never that simple. Most of the pop stars, which we hold dear and everything, they've either had spontaneous fluke success or it's been carefully cultivated. It's been grown inorganically. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a successful person, so I don't begrudge them that, but they had extra help. Christina Aguilera pretty much grew up music, training, everything in that world. Britney Spears in that world, acting, training for a life that, she obviously was meant for. And I think that's what's missing is that most of us, we consider ourselves musicians, but we don't want to act. We don't want to spend our time committing to that. I don't. I certainly don't. Which is why I'm unsuccessful. Because as a very successful voice actor, I probably could do something with my life. But I don't want to because I just want to be a boring engineer, a super nerd engineer that goes to Mars because the world is so fundamentally broken and there's not enough money in the world to really fix it. I'm trying to build my veteran city. I really am. But if I can't afford a land grant to start, then it'll never happen. And if I try to act or something like that, which, by the way, would be very difficult for someone with PTSD, with military sexual trauma, but also a little too easy as well. I've mentioned Emma Stone, I've mentioned Anne Hathaway, I've mentioned Glenn Close, and just all these people who I've just been conditioned because I've been a fanboy. I haven't been in that world. I think I once acted in a play when I was like 5 or 6. No, probably older than that. I want to say maybe 8. I was old enough that it was still fun to do, so I want to say it was a solid 8. I'm so congested too. I'm sorry. Sniffle. Oh my god. I mean, I did Footloose the musical when I was much, much older, but man. Oh well. It's just something to think about. Who wants to live in a world where you have no way to connect with people and you'll just never be in the world again. I'm literally stuck in this fucking Latino ghetto and I don't want to live here because I realize that as much as people want to say, oh my God, it's Latino pride and Latino pride. We have Latino pride every day, every month, every year. I'm Latino, you're Latino, we're all Latino together. And you're all together being fucking gassed to death. You're all together surrounded by smoke, and they corralled the gangs, the same cartels that you fled from your home countries for. They're here, trapped in this area with you, and you're trapped with them. That is not the fucking Latino paradise that anybody wants. Jim Bro, that's simply live, been working, get out. I'm gonna leave your comment there. Normally I would, be that weird person that just says, well, you can't say that in my chat. My chat is pro freedom. It's just like, no, you can always say that. I do work. I'm retired, but my job, my career is to try and save people from literally burning themselves out trying to pay bills that don't make sense anymore. Why the fuck would anybody play a utility bill? You can say bye. I'm still going to try and reach out to you as a human being. Jimbro, I feel sorry for you. That's all. I really feel sorry for you because you have to get up at some ungodly hour, put on a fucking uniform, which you don't even like, and most likely you go flip some fucking burgers as people bark at you with some fucking funky breath, and I would know. But that's your life. And then you take home such a pittance of pay, and then you try and eke out a life. But you know what? You don't even enjoy your life. All you people who say, work, man, or you just gotta work, work. It's just like, really? Okay. What does your work allow you? Does your work allow you a house or an apartment in a decent neighborhood? Okay, okay. But what do you do with that time? Do you spend your time literally inside all day like a fucking caged animal? Do you spend your time dodging criminals all day because you live in a bad neighborhood or a dangerous world? Do you have to still deal with traffic and things like that? Okay, then maybe work just isn't enough anymore. Maybe we need to look towards something better. Sometimes better is simple. Sometimes better is more advanced. It's simple to be a farmer and necessary too. People need good, fresh crops. They need people who can meet the needs of hunger across the world while still maintaining high standards. I don't know. I mean, that kind of talk doesn't really get someone popular, but I don't do these podcasts to be popular. I do these podcasts because somebody has to say the truth. Somebody has to say that work and money isn't everything. It's really what you use it for. I can buy a flat screen 4K television to fucking stare at and waste my life away. Or when I have my disability benefits, I could buy a piece of land where I could start a farm, raise a family, invite good, decent neighbors, protect my neighbors, feed my neighbors, give them shelter, have a whole veteran city. That makes more sense than the mess that every other city is, because you let your cities fall apart in America. Does anyone tell you that? You call it freedom, but should you try and leave your city, they tax you. They fucking shake you down for money. They shake you down for money and they say, "Oh, you crossed a bridge. Would you mind? Would you mind terribly if we asked a toll of you because you crossed a bridge?" Yeah, I know. You could have just walked over the bridge and, we wouldn't charge you anything for that. But you used a car when you did so, so that costs money. Can we ask some money of you? And you pay. Most of you pay. Some of you go some back roads and say, "Oh, I'll take the one bridge that isn't. It'll be a longer way, but I won't have to pay extra money." But then you end up paying extra money to replace the fuel you use to go out of your way to avoid the toll. So does it really matter? I mean, shouldn't you just live in a society where they just didn't need to do that? Or if they did that, it wouldn't affect you so much, because for the most part, it's what, $2 to $10. I've never seen a toll for a bridge go beyond $10, except for probably like heavy trucks or something like that. But even so, nobody really owns a personal truck. It's usually some large corporation. What was I really trying to say with this? Is it that bureaucracy is cumbersome and that sometimes we just need to accept a simple way of life? Food is really food, water is water, air is air. If you start there, you might actually get somewhere in life. I'm confused. Ruth, hello. Chickanini toes, chickanini toes. Welcome to the channel. My name's XIlyana. I am just having a metaphysical conversation about the world. I have to believe that there's a better life out there. That even in America, you can still have one good time. And I have to build that town somehow. So I don't know. I guess I have to keep trying to reach out to people. CS Ghost. Morning, Ian. Morning, Ghost. How are you doing? PS, the screen is small. I guess you heard the earlier conversation I had about a 4K television. And it's just, I like the idea of it. I'm not against electronics. I'm not even against television. I'm just against kind of what people have done with it. There's so many television shows and movies which are beautifully written to try and teach humanity something, that have value in this world, and we just see it for the surface of CGI and special effects. Original Mean Girl. If I could afford more lipstick, I would. I would. Although I don't know what orange would be protesting against? Okay, well, I have my blue lipstick on to protest carbon monoxide poisoning of my fellow Latinos in this neighborhood. Carbon monoxide comes from smog, smoke, and car pollution. And then I was going to do green lipstick to protest school shootings, but I couldn't afford the lipstick right now. So maybe by September. Well, if I'm still doing this show by September, then probably I did something wrong in life. But what would orange lipstick protest against? I mean, those are the two things that I'm like most upset about. I mean, there are things to be upset about, but those two are just okay. For one, air pollution is something that you could solve, and the green for school shootings. We should have just changed the school system to reflect modern age. We should have, but we don't. We still expect children with the gift of the internet and the gift of high intelligence to sit still and not be kids and not be intelligent. Does that make sense to you? Is there a reason why we can't just change that? Unfair prison sentences. That's not really my story to tell, but do I really need to have a personal connection to feel something for other people? No, not really. You do make a fair point, original mean girl. Now that I'm thinking about it, like no one should have to live like I live. Of you get to walk outside for not even a full hour, and then the rest of it is just mental abuse. And as far as the justice system, I agree. I agree, but you need to make some reforms to that because there are several people who are innocent and DNA could exonerate them, and they don't have enough people to go through every cold case, which pisses me off because the people who would be best qualified to go through that data are the people who would watch a show like Cold Case. Nathan Duell, Zachary Garland, don't be jealous. I live in California and marijuana is very legal here. So if you don't have access to it, I kind of feel sorry for you because, sativa is that body high and indica will free your mind. I'm not exactly saying 10 television, 10 television, television. Oh God. I can't even speak right. I'm so depressed right now. I'm really depressed. I hate Los Angeles. I don't want to live here. I want my disability benefits so I can move. Quite frankly, with my disability benefits, maybe Los Angeles would be slightly cooler, whatever. But I could also leave. I dream about going to Ireland. I dream about going to Scotland. Any place but here. Marilyn, wrong color. Well, Marilyn, if you would like to donate to my channel so I can afford lipstick, and then just put in the note for your donation to my Cash App, which is in my description, for lipstick, you basic bitch. I'm okay with that because I'll just buy some lipstick. But, I don't have enough in my disability benefits to afford lipstick of every color. I chose blue because I want to fight this issue of air pollution. I just want more out of this world. I want more out of this country. And I want them to want that too. It's not just denying me my disability benefits. They're denying America a future. They're denying America a leader. Because what can I really do as a person who just goes on YouTube with blue lipstick and some gold thing that they just put on their fucking head? I mean, it doesn't reach anyone. It doesn't inspire anyone to make a difference in their world. To have blue lipstick, some gold thing on my head. That looks strange. But here I am. I'm determined not to give up. Ha 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 ha. Have you ever had sex with someone while they were wearing body paint? Like, erotic body paint is actually really, really sexy. Like, I'll just go through it with you. One of my favorite pornos is this French film, Cannot Squat. It's all about this one guy who falls in love with this bohemian free spirit who's just sexually adventurous and like really gapes his hole and everything, and he just has this awakening. I love it. I absolutely love that film. It's one of my fucking favorite films to wank to, but also it's so inspiring because when I think about my ideal partner, it's not some red carpet celebrity. It's someone that I could fucking play in the mud with. Someone who can laugh and joke and wear body paint and sing and dance and love and make love. That's what I want. And I thought that maybe I could find that in California. But no such luck. DMR23, UK, EU, never mind, good luck. Well, thank you for the luck. I certainly need it because in, I want to say like 48 hours or so, a little bit more than that, I have to fight with the VA for my disability benefits and explain to them, no, I will not go to another one of your appointments because it's triggering for me to go to an appointment. It is triggering for me to have to use public transportation to go to that appointment. It's triggering for me to be out in public at all. So thank you for your luck. I need it. Because that's the only thing that is a path out of this. It's the only thing that's a future because right now I'm just wasting my life in LA. At least in Texas, if I wanted to go sing, I just went singing. I just would sing on a stage every chance I could get. I was loved on the fucking stage. Like, honestly, I had more concert time in Texas than I do in California. How is that fair? Clown world. Look, I would rather be in a world where a person put on blue lipstick than have to put on some uniform with their name tagged on it for minimum wage. You want to talk about clown world? Do you want fries with that? Enjoy your clown world. Or do you work in an office? Do you work in an office where you can't just stare at titties all day? Okay, well, fuck you and your clown world then. No name tags here. Must not be because you have time to be on YouTube. You have time to be on YouTube hanging out with me. So I don't know what to tell you. Trash. I'm a disabled veteran. Trash is who we are to America. We're just trash to you. Human bodies that you can throw against a wall. No consequence. This isn't the way, brother. I'm seriously concerned for you, a random stranger. God has more in store for you than you know. Then prove it to me. Get me out of this Latino neighborhood. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. That's what I need. Because this is what I've been reduced to. This is what I've been reduced to. Blue lipstick and putting shit on my fucking head. That's gold. Instead of conforming to your American society. You want me to fucking hold a hot dog and scream the Pledge of Allegiance? Get me the fuck out of here. Because I will not do that either, but at least I'd be out of here. I don't want to live here. I don't want to live in California. I don't want to live in this neighborhood. And it's true. I don't really want to live in any neighborhood. I want to just build a town. I want to spend my time being a farmer, being a constructor. I don't see the point in living in a city if I don't want to live in cities anymore. I can't prove it. You need to be proactive and have faith. I've had faith in America for 8 years. 8 years of, they're going to give me my disability benefits and I'm going to be able to concentrate on taking my MCAT and then go to medical school. 8 years of that. 8 years while they sent people to sexually assault me. They sent people to commit hate crimes against me, violent hate crimes. 8 years of that. I've waited long enough. I've lost faith. We don't want you. Leave. I would leave. I would leave. Do you have a way to check my description? Because my Cash App is right there. You pay for a plane ticket for me to go to Inverness, Scotland, or Aberdeen, Scotland. I'm on that plane. I'm on that plane. I will quit YouTube forever if someone will just pay for a plane ticket to get me out of this fucking country. I don't need YouTube in my life. I don't need to make videos every day. You're not Scottish. I would hope not. Because if I go to Scotland, they're going to see some Brazilian butt cheeks because I'm going to be wearing my fucking Scottish kilt and it is very windy and you will see some hairy Brazilian butt cheeks. And those men are going to be hooting and hollering and enjoying it. They're going to enjoy how beautiful my fucking butt cheeks are. Hold on. Okay. I don't want your fucking sympathy. I don't even, really care what your opinion is. I'm just gonna fucking say it anyway. So I'll go through your comments because it's something to do. Sometimes reading fucking hate mail is more productive than just sitting and crying. So biggest complainer, nobody owes you anything and nobody owes me anything. You create your own open doors, albeit some have easier doors open than others. Life sucks at times. Do you want a medal for saying that? Because I just disagree with you. I disagree with you. If you're a veteran, you deserve the world. You deserve the world. You deserve a better world. You can't tell me, oh, you served in America. Can we just stick you where the highest crime is? Fuck that. Fuck that. Why the fuck do I have to live in a Latino ghetto as a gift for my time in the military? So you mean to tell me that Beverly Hills and the rest of that is such a white paradise that I can enjoy that as a fucking military veteran? Fuck that noise. Get me a fucking plane ticket to Inverness. Get me a plane ticket to Scotland. Oh, do you whine if you're not Scottish? I think I read that earlier. But either way, I will mention that again because whatever. I'll just redo the same two comments and I'll just let the rest of you fucking keep rotting. Um, I want to suck some fucking Scottish cock. I don't want to suck American cock. I don't want to talk to Americans. I don't want to have sex with Americans anymore. I want some big burly power lifter like the Stoltman brothers or a Stoltman brothers cousin, one of their cousins, because those are some chunky ass white men who are super fucking sexy, super funny, and I want that. I want it. I want it. I want it. It's all I fucking fantasize about. That's all. Get a job, you lazy bum, then you can get a plane ticket. No, I want my disability benefits. Because when I tried to work a job, that job was just abusive. That job made my PTSD worse. And the only way I could get through the job was by being drunk all the time. So no, no. I've already wasted way too much of my life on alcohol. Biggest complainer, I'm out of here. Good luck, my guy. I hope people treat you with kindness on the way. Thank you, biggest complainer. You are welcome here anytime. LOL, fantasy of fun. Can't wait to see you on 4chan. Why would I be on 4chan? I don't know. Ricky Laws, can't wait to see you get your shit together. Maybe if you didn't look like that, you'd have a better life. I look like this because I'm doing everything in my power to make myself unattractive to women. Because the women here don't know how to behave. And when I say behave, I mean you don't fucking fondle the genitals of a stranger on a fucking bus. You just don't do that. But you Los Angeles people did that to me. So no, I don't want to doll myself up. I don't want to even fucking shave my beard and show off my beautiful cheekbones and then maybe highlight my lipstick a little easier. Because I don't want the fucking women of Los Angeles to think, oh, well, you're pretty, so you're asking for it. It's like, no, I'm not asking for shit. I'm asking to be left alone. What part of don't talk to me, what part of don't fucking touch me is unheard of in America and especially in California? Luis, hi Ian. Hi Luis. If you were a veteran and did tours, if you were stationed in Hawaii or Germany, then I'm not sure anyone owes you, but you are pretty dang funny. Hope to see you on here again. You're always welcome here, biggest complainer. And I don't know what to say. You know, I want to live in a world where veterans are taken care of. And if the Department of Veteran Affairs doesn't take care of veterans, then I have to by building a veteran city. And that's the only thing I can really do. But I can only really do that if I have my disability benefits. You see that's a catch 22. That's a catch 22. There's not enough support to start a veteran village because everyone just says, but you have LA or you have New York. I'm like, you have crime there, you have pollution there, you have traffic there. Why don't you just try something? I want to do that until you show them by building the new city, which I'm going to call Metropolis because, you know, DC for life. Uh, it opens up their eyes to there's another way. There's absolutely another way to run a city, run a town, run a country while still living in this country. We have this thing called states' rights, where, yeah, the federal government can say something, but a state, if given enough support by its people, it can be anything. It can decide anything. California, Washington State, Colorado, they're states that said, you know what, there's money to be gained by having marijuana. There is something nice about having a populace which is more chill. So, yeah, that's what we will allow. But for some reason, that's not going to be a federal thing. And maybe it shouldn't be a federal thing because if you are the type of person to fucking spend your time getting high and exploring the universe, then you should be on the fucking West Coast enjoying some sunshine, vitamin D, and talking and grooving and attending music festivals. You shouldn't be stuck in New York or Massachusetts, you know, staring at coal mines, whatever. It's why don't you move to these areas? And that's another reason why they would even ratify a law for marijuana legalization is because they're trying to say there's not enough people here. The more people here, the more customers they have. And I think that's the truth of why marijuana is legal here in a place like California. It's the business, not that they wanted to engage in a spiritual awakening of the American people. It's business. You want to start enjoying a marijuana life? Can we sell you a bong? Okay. Oh, you don't want to do a bong? All right. Can we get you edibles? Can we get you your own rolling paper? We can sell you that. We can sell you the weed itself. We can sell you weed t-shirts. Do you want a weed t-shirt so everyone thinks you're cool? Okay, we'll sell you that too. You know, this nightclub wasn't doing well. What if we gave everyone weed at the entrance and so that you could potentially vape in here at the very least, but you get some free weed to come into this nightclub. Although, I mean, there's a cover charge to come into the nightclub, but now it's a cover charge that also technically pays for weed. That's a business plan. Sacred plants. Sacred plants. And they just use it to get more of that green American dollar instead of exploring the universe, exploring yourself, sharing a good time with your closest friends. Nope, don't really want to live here. All right, I'm gonna get back into the comments. How is every job abusive to you? Odinin. Okay, well that's actually a good story. I was in Texas and they put me through food safety training and everything, and they even gave me a manager position, which was lovely. But really, they just hired me because it would make good television. The Food Network had contacted this particular restaurant and said, we would like to do a documentary on you, the restaurant, obviously. And I was like, cool, I got a job and I will try and do it to the best of my ability. We had to do a Texas State Fair. So I'm a food vendor, I'm in the booth. I'm not even making the food myself. I'm just supervising people who make the food. One of the workers, a female black woman, she says to me, Ian, I have to go to the restroom. And I say, that's fine. Wash your hands and I'll just see you when you come back. She comes back and I say, great, welcome back. There's a lot to catch up on. Why don't you wash your hands again and we'll have you rejoin everyone? She burst into tears because I asked her to wash her hands. The other manager who was there and was within ear range of me, and up until that point, I was very friendly with, we were joking and everything. She turns to me and shoves me across the booth, assaulting me, and says, how can you ask her to wash her hands? You made her fucking cry. So, because of that, and because I was assaulted, I go to the police station and I report the entire thing. The police come down, and the owners of the restaurant come down, and then the owner is trying to have a conversation with me where he's firing me. And I notice out of the corner of my eye, there's a camera right there. It's like, you assaulted me on camera for ratings so that the Food Network would have something interesting. I didn't accuse him of that, but the Food Network approached me and said, you could be really famous off this. You could be really famous off this. We have the whole thing on camera and, we can do a special testimonial with you. You could tell your side of it. And I was like, no, here's what you're going to do. You're going to blur out my name. You're going to blur out my face. And any footage you have of me in it is now unusable because I do not give permission for the Food Network to use any of my likeness. And that was that. Still think that I'm a person who should work? I don't think so. Odin, you ever think about how you probs have ancestors that survived and fought for your bloodline to get to this point, and this is where it ends? I think about that all the time. I think about how the American government sexually abused me to cock block me from the amount of pussy I would normally get. I had fucking French ballerinas and supermodels which I would date. But because some overzealous master sergeant of the United States Air Force wanted to sexually abuse me, now I cannot stand the sight of women. I cannot stand the sound of women. The only video game I can really play is one where her voice is so fucking distorted, I can't even tell it's a woman. And her face is covered the entire time. Iggy Hall, don't worry, princess. I've applied for your victim card. It'll be with you in a few days. Sorry, days. You are clever. You are clever. Call me a victim. Call me a victim. What was I supposed to do when Master Sergeant Miranda, someone who outranked me, was sexually abusing me? Because I turned to Airman Rose and I said, Airman Rose, will you go for help? He stood at attention and ignored me. This was someone who, up to that point, was talking with me, engaging with me, and everything. But when I needed him to go for help while I was being sexually abused by Master Sergeant Miranda, he stood at attention and did nothing. So, to all these people who say, why don't you get a job or why don't you be normal? I don't have to do blue lipstick on every fucking chance I. Bro, you need a shrink. No, I need my fucking money. Because the thing that actually makes me crazy is not myself, it's the American people, their brokenness. The brokenness that's inside that makes them sexually abuse and assault one another. I'm not exactly saying Scotland is without its flaws, and I have a very rose colored tint to how I look at that country. But I cannot believe that a country that is as free spirited enough to still say we enjoy a fucking cloth and no fucking pants underneath would be in any way worse than America. Why do people like you exist? Because it reminds you of how you used to be free, how you used to have the ability to have something like this and live freely. I don't know if you can remember this because you obviously don't have an animus and you're not Michael Fassbender, but you used to be able, to the most part, to go to a local mine or go to a river and fish for fucking, I'm sorry, not fish really, fish for gold. That's not how that works. Sift through this fucking soil for gold, or get a pickaxe and pick it out of the fucking mountain. Find a vein of gold and just mine it. But now, because of the way that you allow collars to go around your necks, oh, I'm sorry, you call them jobs. Uh, why don't you just go to a jeweler? Why don't you just go to a jeweler? It's such back-breaking work to mine that gold ore. Let us do that for you. Just why don't you pay us an exorbitant amount of money for something that you could have done cheaply? It would be crude. It would be ugly, unrefined. But if you found someone who you truly loved and you proposed with your heart and you hand them this misshapen lump of metal, but you tell them that I will love you forever and only you, it might mean something more. I listened to Clint's story yesterday of he saved up all his money. He was working at Walmart. Oh, someone like Clint working at Walmart, and he saved up all his money on an engagement ring, handed it to this woman that he thought loved him back. She took that ring, fucked his best friend, and sold it. Now, to all of you people who say, oh my God, that's such a terrible story, I'm like, no, the story didn't just have a sad ending because he was cheated on. He was cheated out of his entire life. He was cheated out of finding someone who could truly love him back. So yes, please look at my lovely gold hairpiece that I have on right now. But think for a second that at least I'm free enough to admit that I enjoy pretty, pretty things. I'm free enough to say that I can enjoy being silly at times. And I will not put myself through abuse for something or someone who I'm not sure I get a good return on. Well, Smurfett is played by Rihanna, and if Rihanna needs that pussy eaten, I don't know, kiss it better. I don't know what to tell you, Zachary Cummings. By the way, I love your name. Davis, I'm not going to read your comment, but I will let you look up my nose. Please enjoy the sight of my nostrils. I'm dark skinned, so you know they're very large. So please enjoy the look up my nostrils as I make funny faces. That is what you get. Just for that comment, I'm going to allow you to look up my nose. I can do this all day, bitch. Up my nose. Look. Let that be a lesson to you. Wise Guy Media, I will agree with you. We are living in the end of days. We are living in an endless trial of tribulation. Well, the Diamond Cutters, I'm going to read your comment. Well, I don't agree with the look he's going for. It's not really a look that I'm going for. I'm using my body as a canvas to protest. I'm using my body as a canvas to protest a political issue. And the environment shouldn't be a political issue, it should just be common sense. But that's not how the world works. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have superhero money to wear a costume that is more palatable to you. But I'll still be a hero as I use blue lipstick to protest carbon monoxide poisoning of my people who are being gassed to death, just like the Nazis used to do. The only thing is, the people who are doing it are not just white supremacists, it's regular people who just don't know anything, who go to school and learn about chemistry, but then chuck that shit out the window, but then run to their doctor because the chemistry has turned against them. So yeah, you don't like the look. I don't like how dumb my fucking people are. I don't like that I'm here and I have to look at them and say, I don't have shit to talk to you about because I am so angry at every last Latino person here who chases white dollars and to live as a white person when all of that is taking you further away from your heritage, further away from happiness, and further from who you really are inside. But that's just me. Holy football Batman. Bro is me when I take shrooms and start ranting about Jews. I I don't know. I'm gonna rant about Jews. I did see a Hasidic Jew having sex through a sheet earlier today, so I wouldn't consider that a rant. But I'm sorry, what was your question? SS. Welcome to my chat. You can call it what it is. I think it is madness, absolute madness, to live in a world where everything is stacked up against you and you never to do anything about it. You don't protest, you don't complain, you just accept it. You accept that your pay is so small, you accept that your houses are small, and you accept that your dreams are forever postponed, whatever they may be. Maybe your dream is to just own a restaurant. What's so wrong with that dream? Maybe you could have a restaurant. Maybe you should have a restaurant. Maybe someone should believe in you. Kay, I don't know what to tell you. I don't talk to Americans if I can help it. The only time I do talk to Americans is through YouTube. So here's what you get: 24 hours to think about how naughty you are. But it's okay. You can look up my nostrils for 30 seconds as punishment. For making such a naughty comment. You can look up my nostrils for 10 seconds more. Admire the deep black holes. Fantasize about my nostrils, my giant fucking nostrils, because I am very colored. Please look up my nostrils. Okay, that'll be enough. Let that be a lesson to you. If you write such naughty things, like, bitch, you gonna fucking scare me with that shit. Look around you. Fucking surrounded by fucking vampires. You wanna come to my channel and talk that shit? Wake up. Wake up. I'm not the monster underneath your bed. That is already in your house. Brett French, good to see you again. Welcome to the channel. This is the trash that lines this earth. Cheeky chops. Yeah, I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran, which means that I'm a discarded, disgusting American. Broken, abused, and used as a sex toy for the United States Air Force. You still want to call me trash? You still want to call me trash? Bounce. Haters gonna hate. So many people can't stop talking about cocks. I don't just think about cocks, I talk about cock. Okay, I'm a fucking cocksucker and I'm stuck here in Ricky Martinville. I'm stuck here in a low budget Robert Rodriguez film. I am stuck here in what I can only assume is the pit in hell that you have to stop in order to get to Juarez, Mexico. That is where I'm fucking stuck. And I cannot think of it in any other way because I'm a Brazilian and I am not a fucking Latino. Brett French. Haters do have small peepees, but sometimes small peepees feel good in your mouth. Like Asian or, certain businessmen who may or may not fantasize about having a tranny penis in their mouths while they play with their smaller, inferior penis. Something to consider, I guess. Work harder, maybe. No? No? I'm, I really want to sit you down. I want to sit you down, Mr. G, Ban 123, and just explain to you it's not work harder, it's always work smarter. Case in point, I don't mean to pick on people who flip burgers, but there are people who flip burgers who are supermodels. There are people who flip burgers who should own their own restaurants. It costs money to start your own restaurant. It really does. But if that's really what you want out of life, you have to go for that. And you have to stop saying, work harder, because work harder for a business that's not your own, that doesn't really seem that smart. Hiring people to work for you, I might actually be smarter. I own my own transgender restaurant. Maybe I should just hire some waiters. Maybe I should just move to a town where I could start my own fucking catering business. Maybe that's a thing I could do. Brett French, are you flirting with me? Are you flirting with me? I've got a trans girlfriend. Then once you go trans, well, I mean, I guess you go both ways then. God is watching you. No, Kelly Winter. God is watching us. God is watching us. God is watching us masturbate from a distance. I love God. We are not the same. I don't know. It's just going to be one of those days. I'm just going to do weird fucking podcasts and just never be normal again. What happens when you have PTSD? You are never normal again. And also, why would you want to be? Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Sue. The only mistake that was made was when the United States Air Force sexually abused me. Because when they sexually abused me, they cut off the connection between America and myself, which means that I don't eat your fucking food, I don't go to your fucking movies, and I'm healthier. Maybe not mentally healthier, but physically, I spend my time eating real food, I work out, and I masturbate constantly. some people call that exposure. Some people just say you just live your truth out loud. What am I supposed to be silent on my fucking sexual kinks and what goes on in my life? Is there something shameful about saying that I watched a Hasidic man have sex through a sheet? I don't know. I mean, is it dirty? Is it kinky? That Hasidic man didn't think so because he videotaped that shit. So what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to kink shame me for fucking clicking on that? Fuck no. I'm gonna fucking revel in that. Revel in the liberation to say that you could be freaky and still be religious. You can be freaky and still, be a pillar of the community. It's not a mutually exclusive thing. So just be a freak out loud all the time. And who knows? You might actually find someone who says, I'm kinky too, or I share the same kink. A very wise comedian once said that it is very hard to find someone to share your fucking kinks with because how do you just bring that up in a conversation? And I will do the fucking joke. If I can remember how to do it, I don't know. I'm not a comedian. I'm not a comedian. And I'm certainly not a comedian that, you know, had quite the success of this one. So maybe I'll just let you look up that comedian and find the joke on your own. Brett French. That is a pretty funny joke. But to be honest, a flashlight is a fucking flashlight. Like if Nike came out with a fucking flashlight shoe, it would fucking sell out. You think that people don't want that? They do. If Sony PlayStation 6 was the PlayStation 6 and had a flashlight installed in it, it would sell out because that's what people really want. Bruh, bruh. That's the fucking truth. Actually, one of my fucking favorite videos is this guy playing Call of Duty, and he's playing Call of Duty and he's going about his scoreboard, but he's completely naked and he's just fucking his flashlight. It's just that's what he wants. That's what he really wants, and that's what we all want. Okay, maybe not to play Call of Duty. Um, Nothing against Activision. I don't know. I I just couldn't get into those games. I tried, I really did. It's just there's so much more to life than what that is. But then again, what is a video game except for you to murder pixels? Whatever the pixels are, you're just breaking pixels apart, watching pixels explode. So I get it, which is why I'm not mad at Activision for being Activision. But either way, I think what I'm trying to say is I think a fleshlight is I'm not sponsored by them. I'd love to get a sponsorship from something like Fleshlight. I have nothing but hymns interrupting every video that I can get. And I almost wonder whether or not they would be a good fit for an advertiser. Because I guess I'm almost at that point where I have to, you know, have advertisers on. And I'm a super sexual person and I'm super vocal about it. I talk about sex, I talk about porn all the time. Maybe it would make sense to have something like hymns or any kind of like blue chews and things like that. Because even as a transgender person, I should still be trying to reach out to men and say, hey, some of you don't want to be this, but you're not exactly Don Juan either. So maybe you need to work on a few things. Maybe you need some medication to fucking give you the confidence that you need. And then, have sexy time with whoever you choose. An ex-friend gave me a footlight. People want to talk about television and video games as the end of society, the end of society. And I said, no, the end of society was when they invented dildos and then when they invented the fleshlight. Because when you have a dildo, you have that choice of, I don't fucking need conversation. I don't fucking need to wine and dine. I don't have to be polite with conversation at all. I can just skip to the part that I really want. Men and women are both deciding that. And then they're experiencing such euphoric orgasms that it almost makes you think, why do we really date? Why do we put ourselves in a situation to be hurt? To expect a perfect stranger who we don't really know to love you. Why do we put ourselves through that when we can love ourselves? We can love ourselves often, fully, completely. I might look strange to you, but I have more orgasms. Those women are constantly trying to crowd me and things like that, but my orgasms are my own, and I don't feel like sharing them with any of you. I don't know what that woman was about yesterday who wanted to block the exit from my apartment building by throwing her fucking kid at me. But I don't know what to tell you. Like, that kid isn't fucking mine. I would love to be in a position to fucking help you, but that fucking kid is not mine. I live an 18 plus life. I talk about sticking things up my ass and wanting to stick things up other men's asses and talk a woman through her orgasm. But that's a very adult life. I don't have room to raise someone else's kid. I'll raise my own kid with the right person, but it won't be you. Aren't you gay? I just changed my name. I'm actually bisexual and biromantic. Oh, okay. No, to be fair, I'm a heteroromantic homosexual. Like, I have very fulfilling romantic relationships with most women outside of my PTSD. So I can only go pre 2018 for like interactions with women. Because right now, all the interactions with women have either been in an alcohol induced haze or just somehow tainted and dirty in a way that just makes me feel uncomfortable. Bi-mental? I don't know what you're referring to that, but I guess that, we have to invent new terms to describe what is happening to us. And what is happening to us is we're getting closer, but not quite, to who we used to be. And it's confusing. It's confusing because you have a level of affluence that almost reminds you of the Roman Empire right before it failed. When men were so rich and so in excess that they started acting a little bitchy. They started acting like women. They wore fucking wigs and makeup, and they would gorge themselves on food. Joy, hey, so glad I was able to catch you live again. Love you. I love you too. Welcome to the channel. I'm talking about the fall of the Holy Roman Empire. But during that time period, they would import a lot of slaves from many different cultures, many different tribes. And those tribes were always warriors, always people that they conquered, or at least thought that they had conquered. And they kept spreading themselves all over the place. They spread themselves all the way to England, and they spread their way to France, so they had to fight Gauls. But after generation and generation, everyone's goals started turning toward, I'll be a senator. Senators have all the money, senators have all the land. They don't get sent off to wars. I'll be a senator, and then my son will be a senator, because now it's a legacy of it. And every generation has just become a little softer, a little bit softer. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you get a lot of philosophers that way. And sometimes you need philosophy just as much as you need war. But because of that, eventually those slaves, the ones that they stole from the warring tribes, just realized that if you stick a spear straight through a patrician's belly, they'll bleed just as much as a pig would. And off comes the collars. And off comes the collars is a big theme of what's going on in the world today. And one of my favorite videos is Stupid Ho by Nicki Minaj. There's this whole thing where she's a beautiful jaguar and she transforms into a woman again. And for a moment, and I love Hype Williams for these kind of music videos, because they say something without really saying something. But if you look closer, you see what it is, and it's beautiful, it's breathtaking to see. Nicki Minaj is in that cage and she's just shaking her ass seductively. Now, one could say, Nicki Minaj, what the fuck are you doing in a cage? But then again, she's a healthy, beautiful woman enjoying her body. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. And she's just dancing in a cage, but she's beautiful while doing so. So that's what life is for me in Los Angeles. I will sing notes that you will never fucking hear. I will dance entire Broadway routines that you will never fucking get to see. And that is how things are. I live my life. Joy. I love that music video so much. Look at the one where she's on her fucking knees in the deepest plie possible, and she's just shaking her head and letting her hair flow and everything. There's nothing more beautiful than that, because she's enjoying her body. She's enjoying every curve. She's enjoying everything about being herself. Gay, straight, bi, transgender, cisgender, you look at that and say, that is what it means to be alive. That is what it means to truly be alive, when you can enjoy your body, enjoy living as yourself. We all need to remember who we were before the cage, then the cage does not matter as much. Living in a city like this has reminded me of visiting a zoo. I'm a red wolf. I should be where the red wolves are. So they corralled all of us together and made us live together. But within my own apartment, my apartment can be anywhere, any place, anytime. You think make believe is just for those actors and the people who are paid for it? I can live Outlander all by myself. I I can do Stargate all by myself. There's no reason to just accept that you are where you are when you can be anywhere, anywhen. You can be in outer space if you wanted. Use your imagination. Be a star, be a chef, be a dancer, be anything. I have this fight with the VA. If I lose this fight, I'm just going to have to leave, because I'm wasting my life here and I just don't want to live in this neighborhood anymore. I can't really afford to move anyplace else, but I'm going to have to seek asylum in a different country. Oh, did I mention that the United Nates. Who are the Nates? And why are they united? The United Nations Human Rights Commission is investigating the United States for war crimes and crimes against humanity, violations of human rights, for what they've done to me. Not today, Stan. Hmm. I have to admit that was pretty clever. That was pretty nice. That was pretty nice. All right, everyone. I am gonna take a big stinky pig. So thank you all for joining me. Have a good day.